All right.
How you doing, bro?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. How can I help you?
Well, I'm a Christian. I see your prompt is why am I not a Muslim?
Yeah.
So there's a few reasons, I guess, to keep it, focused. My main reason is that Muhammad disagrees with Jesus and the previous prophets regarding their theology.
Okay. Can you substantiate that?
Yeah, so when we look at the previous scriptures, when we look at the gospel, we look at the Torah, we see that one, Jesus teaches things, Moses teaches things that directly go against core doctrine of Islam. One of them being that Jesus is the Son of God who the Father sent into the world to save mankind from their sins by his blood and stuff like that. So I think that that is a direct contradiction to Islamic theology, obviously.
Okay. Can we take them one by one?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So when you say Son of God, can you define what you mean by that?
Well, in Jesus' sense, he's the begotten Son of God. He comes forth from the Father's substance.
Okay. Is David not also called the begotten Son of God in the Psalms?
No, that's a messianic prophecy.
It's a messianic prophecy. That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay. So you would disagree that that's referring to David?
correct. Because David is just like, so you'll have a lot of you have quite a few messianic prophecies where David in the psalm is speaking in the first person, but it's not about him. It's about the Messiah.
Okay. And can you substantiate that?
Yeah. So we have an example in Acts. Let me pull this up real quick. In Acts chapter 2. I'm just pulling it up real quick.
I got the Bible right here with me too. I don't know what translation you prefer. I got the King James version if that's okay with you, but we can bring it up together.
Yeah, that works. I don't usually use the King James because I don't speak
No problem.
that type of
I got
archaic
laptop here
English.
too. I'll go to whatever version you want to use.
For sure. King James is fine. I'm just sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to understand.
Yeah. All right. So Acts chapter 2, and we go to so Acts chapter 2 is quoting Psalm 16. And let me just get that exact reference up as well. Okay.
You said Acts chapter 2, verse what?
I'm going to start at verse 25.
All right. Acts 2:25. You can go ahead and start reading if you want to.
Sure. So it says, for David says concerning him, right, concerning Jesus, I saw the Lord always before me, for he is at my right hand that I may not be shaken. Therefore my heart was glad and my tongue rejoiced. My flesh also will dwell in hope, for you will not abandon my soul to Hades or let your Holy One see corruption. You have made known to me the paths of life. You will make me full of gladness with your presence. So this is quoting, I believe it's Psalm 16, where David is speaking Psalm 16, starting at verse 9, where David's speaking in the first person. Really, he's not talking about himself. He's actually talking about Jesus. It's messianic.
Yeah. So, and you're taking it from Acts, right?
Yeah, this is Peter speaking directly.
Right. And so, and this would already be being generous enough to assume that whoever the author of Acts is, which is widely believed to be the same author of Luke, knew what they were talking about, or was being honest, or was actually reporting, accurate historical events that they either witnessed or heard secondhand. But I'm not even aware of any evidence of that, so I'm under no obligation to accept it, even if your interpretation is correct.
Oh, that's fine. You can say that, of course, but if we're going from the biblical standpoint, according to the Bible, we see this consistency that David, being a prophet, is prophesying, and even when he speaks in the first person, we see it's actually not about him, but it's actually foretelling the Messiah and the words of the Messiah. And so, now, when it comes to the theology of Jesus, going back to that, him teaching that he's the Son of God, the begotten Son of God. It doesn't matter in what sense he's the Son of God, that he came to give his life as a ransom for many, that it's through his blood that forgiveness of sins is access, you have access to that, goes directly against what Islam teaches.
Well, you're assuming again that I have to accept that standard, which I'm again under no obligation to until you can substantiate it. But again, there's actually a few things that are interesting to me regarding the whole atonement thing. Is that the author, like we just mentioned, the author of Acts, which is widely believed to be the same author of Luke. Something that I find interesting is that you would agree that the Gospel of Luke is most likely written earlier than the Gospel of John, which has the highest Christology out of all of them.
I would agree that Luke is earlier than John. I do not agree that John has the highest Christology.
You don't?
No, I would argue Mark is probably just a notch above John.
Okay, we could talk about that in a minute. No problem.
For sure.
Something that's interesting to me is that I'm not John, because John is not one of the synoptic gospels, but Mark, Matthew, and Luke, they oftentimes narrate the same things, but with slightly different wording. Sometimes the wording is the exact same. But in Luke, for example, a lot of these different narrations that talk about, that have atonement language, or where in Matthew and Mark, Jesus seems to indicate some type of vicarious atonement, this language is largely removed from the Gospel of Luke when it's narrating those exact same events. So, I just thought that was an interesting thing to bring up. But it seems to me that the author of the Gospel of Luke doesn't believe in atonement the same way that you do, because it's almost as if he intentionally removes it. So
you have Luke chapter 24.
I'm aware of the blood of one will be poured out for many in these things, but that's not the same.
Yeah.
That's not as explicit. That doesn't necessarily have to mean what you're saying it means.
Well, to say that that's not explicit is wild, because it literally is. He literally says there's two places that I.
Well, he
that
says
I can
the
think
blood
of
of
that's
one will be poured out for many, but
just
he's speaking in the third person when he says it.
Oh no, he's talking about himself. Watch.
Well, you can.
So,
I knew. Go ahead. I'm going to let you go ahead. Go ahead. I'll respond to that.
Okay. So we have a couple passages. So we have obviously the Lord's Supper, which is in Luke 22. I think
that's what I just quoted, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what you was referring to. Yeah.
All right. Let me go ahead and pull that up too. Okay.
All right. So you have Luke 22.
Luke 22,
reading what? Verse 20 and 21. All right, verse 20.
All right, go ahead. I'm pulling it up.
Verse 19 and 20. Okay.
Verse 19 and 20, you said?
Yeah, so I'm going to do Luke 22, 19 to 20.
Go ahead, start reading.
And then I'm gonna also do Luke 24. Yeah. 44 to 46.
Go ahead.
All right. So Luke 22, verse 19, it says, "And he took bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, 'This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me.'
Yeah.
And likewise, the cup after they had eaten, saying, 'This cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood.'"
You know what's funny?
Right? What?
The phrase "poured out for you" doesn't appear in the earliest manuscripts.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It does. Now you do have so you do have a textual variant here, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't. It still shows up. So
okay, all right. That's
still there.
You want to say that? You can say that. So let's actually go to the Greek and let's read the earliest manuscripts. Give me one moment.
Brother, bringing up a textual variant is not a defeater to the verse.
No, I'm never claimed it was a defeater, but I said, what's funny is that it doesn't appear in. You heard what I said.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have an issue with textual variants. There's textual variants in the Quran. The only time it's an issue is when they're contradictory.
Okay, that's good to know.
Well, I'm sure you knew that already. You like to bring it up a lot.
That is true. It's good to know that you're honest about it, is what really I was saying. Because you
It's
get
not
people that don't
a,
admit
for
that.
us, it's not really an issue for us because the prophet literally said that the Quran was revealed in 7 different ways, so it's not really an issue for us.
It's only an issue for those who have been going on for years saying that there is no difference at all, word for word, letter for letter.
Correct. That's I don't know where this came from, but I've never been I've never been heard on the internet saying that.
Good. That's good.
All right. Let's go. Let me get it. All right, 22. And then if you look, there is a footnote.
Yep.
Some manuscripts do not have given for you, poured out for you.
Yeah. And
So,
some do.
so you're claiming that this was added or this was taken out? Which one are you claiming? Because either way is...
I'm claiming. Well, what I would be saying is that if there are some manuscripts that do not have this rendition of the verse, then it would just not have survived in those manuscripts. That doesn't mean it wasn't there.
It wouldn't have survived in those manuscripts.
Yeah.
So are you claiming that this is present in the Codex Sinaiticus?
We can check. I didn't claim that. We can check though.
Okay, because I'm sure you're familiar with that at least. That's the earliest full manuscript.
I don't memorize it. That's the earliest completed copy. That's not.
That's what I said. I said it's the earliest full copy. That's what I said.
Yeah. Yeah. So like meaning a codex is our earliest codex.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like our earliest manuscript of Luke or whatever.
All right. Let's. Oh, accidentally put Luke 33. 1 second. All right. Oldest manuscript of Luke 22 is Papyrus 75. So let's go to, let me see if I can pull up an actual transcript of that.
So in so the verse does exist there in the Codex Sinaiticus.
And the Codex Sinaiticus. Okay, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm trying to go to the Papyrus 25, since that's the earliest manuscript of Luke 22. All right. Yeah, so there's a potential that that entire verse is absent because it's not even a full manuscript of Luke 22.
Right, we have fragments of it.
Yeah, it's
so
like three pieces of a paper.
Yeah, so it could be absent in like as the footnote says, absent in some manuscripts, there in others.
So you at least, at the very least, you admit that you have no way of knowing whether or not that wording is present in the oldest manuscript.
We do, because we have the manuscripts here that are recorded. That's the tradition we have.
No, I'm saying we just both agreed that the oldest piece of Luke 22 period is Papyrus 75. And that's not even the entire chapter.
Correct. So it's not contradicting what we have.
No. I'm that's not what I'm saying. I'm asking you, are you willing to admit that you have no way of knowing whether or not that word is even in the oldest manuscript, while at the same time there are manuscript variants where some include that and some don't?
And no, so what I'm saying is that because we have this in our manuscripts and we have it in, I guess it looks like the majority of our manuscripts and our manuscript tradition pertains
fine.
That's I would conclude. I'm just saying that I have more reason to conclude that this is original to the text. I have no reason to doubt it.
Well, that's fine because pericope adulterae is also in the majority of manuscripts of John, but it's not in the oldest, so that doesn't really have.
What is that? Is that the adulterous woman?
Yeah.
You're saying that's in the majority
yes,
of
it
the
is.
manuscripts?
Yes, it is. But that doesn't really matter.
Because I don't think, because we have a strong tradition of verse 20, Luke 22 verse 20 in the early manuscripts. We have a strong tradition. We don't have a strong tradition for the adulterous woman verses.
Well, that's fine. That's not even the point that I'm making. What I'm saying is that you're saying that because of this strong tradition that you're relying on, is that you're concluding that it most likely was in the oldest manuscript in Luke. Is that your position?
Yeah.
So it most likely was, but you don't have any way of proving it beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I don't think that I don't think we can prove things without a shadow of a doubt. We just follow where the evidence leads, you know? So I think the evidence points to
But
again,
I
as
would
we said.
disagree that I would disagree that Korra. One second, please. Someone asked me to rise you. I don't want us to both jump on him at the same time. I don't think that's fair since there's only one of him and there's two of us. So let's not both jump on him at the same time. When he wants to talk to you, he can say that. I'll back off if he feels like he wants to talk to you. But I'm letting her up here for a second. Anyways, my point that I was making. Sorry, I got sidetracked. My whole point that I was making is, Korra, did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, I heard you. Okay, don't worry.
Okay. Jazakallah khair. 1 second. Salam alaikum, by the way.
Wa alaikum salam.
Anyways, what I was saying is that you're saying that you're relying on this strong tradition that you're claiming exists for the wording that you just basically said is the blood is poured out for you in Luke 22. My question is that based on Papyrus 75, which is not an entire copy of Luke chapter 22, it's very little of Luke chapter 22. My point is that you have no way of definitively concluding that it actually does exist in the oldest manuscript of Luke 22.
Yeah, like I said, I would disagree with that. Now, when we're talking about definitively knowing, if you mean by we have absolute beyond shot of a doubt proof type stuff, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that the evidence points to this being original to the text, and so we definitely know that. We see this because we have the strong tradition now.
And so,
hold on, really quick,
go ahead.
Because we're kind of getting super sidetracked off the main point that we were talking about.
Well, I disagree. I disagree because my whole thing was I don't even have to accept your position in the first place. That was my whole point.
But would you agree? You would agree that this is an explicit text in Luke where where Jesus is teaching, like atonement through his blood, correct?
No, not the same way that you believe in. No, but that's even if we accept that the verse was actually there in the beginning, which we haven't even proven yet.
Okay, so you do not agree that when Jesus says this cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood?
No, I
not
don't.
teaching blood atonement.
No, I don't, because we have later events where Jesus seems to pray not to even be crucified at all. So that would.
What is it? That's a completely different subject.
No,
what does
no,
that have
it's
to do
not
with
though.
this?
It's
okay.
related.
So what does that have to do with the statement here?
Because you're saying that this is explicit wording of him predicting being crucified and the blood that's spilled from his body being poured out over everyone. But my point that I'm making is I disagree with that interpretation because we have later incidents where Jesus prayed for that not to take place.
Okay.
So this is contradictory. You understand what I'm saying?
I got you. So here's my question, okay?
Yeah.
So my question is, what does it mean when he says this cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood? What does he mean by that?
Again, I'm saying that it's not clear what he means. I'm not saying I understand exactly what he was referring to. My point was my thing is that I was arguing against you saying that you know for sure, because we have situations that took place after this where he seemed to pray for the crucifixion to not take place at all. So I guess in return I would ask you that if you're saying this is conclusive evidence that Jesus was claiming, and this is already being generous enough to accept that this was even present in the oldest manuscripts, and on top of that being even more generous to accept that this was even like an accurate historical report. So we're already being very generous with this in the first place. But
that's where the evidence leads.
If you feel like you can substantiate that, that's fine. I'm again under no obligation to accept it until you have. But my point that I'm making is just please let me get this out and I'll let you take off. All I'm asking, and when I say that, I don't mean I'm going to kick you off. I'm saying I'll let you.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I just want to be clear so we don't get, all I'm saying is that I'll word it as a question. Never mind. If you're saying that this is explicit evidence of Jesus basically predicting his crucifixion and saying that because of the vicarious atonement, that whole thing, why do we have later examples of Jesus praying for that not to happen? Go ahead.
Okay. So there's two things here. Number one,
yeah,
you have Jesus here that talks about how the cup that is being poured out is his blood for them for the new covenant. And when you look at Old Testament covenant theology, covenants are brought in or signified by blood, whether it's the blood of animal or it's obviously the blood here of the Messiah here. It's always blood is either sprinkled on the altar, blood. So you have here, Jesus is even using priestly language and covenantal language, Old Testament covenantal language in regards to his own blood issuing in the new covenant, which is why this is directly atonement. This is atonement theology. Now, when you ask about Jesus praying for the cup to be removed for him, if it's possible. Now, this is exactly what we see where the prophets prophesy that Jesus will be a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief, and he will be, grieved, greatly grieved, feeling the pressure of the crucifixion, feeling, the depression, the grief of all the people in the sorrows. Yeah. So it shouldn't be a surprise where he has in his humanity a moment of weakness where he says, if it's possible, let this cup pass from me. But watch what he says. However, not my will, let your will be done, which was for him, which was for him to shed his blood. So, but even all of this, if we look at this all in context, Jesus is teaching that he is the Son of God who was sent into the world to save the world, which goes against Islamic theology.
Yeah, so number one, I don't have an issue with the fact that Jesus most likely called himself the Son of God. That's not
what?
Oh, you want to run that argument? We could do that if you want to, but let me just finish, please with the theology.
Okay.
Like, I didn't interrupt you at all, so please don't do that to me.
No, I'm just, bro. We regular people, man. I react. I'm not trying to interrupt you or be rude.
All right. You good. Just please let me say what I'm trying to say.
Go ahead.
So, as a Muslim, I don't have an issue with the fact that Jesus very likely, actually, historically referred to God as Father, because we see this even in the Old Testament, before Jesus was even here. We see God calling other people his sons. Adam is called the son of God. It's the name Father is not an issue for us. Likewise, I guess Korra spoke to your wife about this, and your wife, never mind. I'm not even going to bring your wife up. I'm going to just to remain respectful. I'm just going to stay away from that whole thing. But basically, you heard, if you watched the video between Korra and the 1 verses 20, where your wife was present, it's in in Hosea 16. That
Hosea 2
or Hosea 2:16, yeah. In Hosea 2:16, God's it's you shall no more call me Baali, and you shall today call me Ishi, and I'll remove the names of Baalim from their mouth, and these things like that. And so I'm sure that the response that you're gonna make is that he never allowed that to happen. If you're willing to say that the prophet Isaiah was an idolater, go ahead. But name abrogation has never been an issue for us, title abrogation, because Father is not a proper name, it's a title. So this is not an issue for us at all. When a title of God becomes associated with idolatry, it makes perfect sense for him to abrogate that as an acceptable title for him. So,
okay.
So you can deal with that. I have one more thing I wanted to say, and then I'll let you deal with it. One more thing. So another thing that I wanted to deal with also is that you said that the prophets predicted Jesus and said he was going to be sorrowful, what you just said, he was going to be sorrowful and things like this. I'm not aware of any Old Testament prophecy that explicitly points to Jesus. So if you could show me one, I'd be happy to see it.
Well, this will be amazing because if you're saying that you don't know about any...
Listen, I'm going to go grab my microphone real quick. My phone, and so
I'll wait for you to come back.
I'll be right back. It's going to take less than 30 seconds. Just let me go grab my microphone. Korra, if you have anything to say, go ahead. I'm going to be right back, though. I'm not leaving. Excuse me.
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up?
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you for asking. All right. Well, while he's gone, I wanted to engage with one of the points that you made previously. So you believe that Jesus taught that his crucifixion ended sin sacrifice, correct?
That's not what I said. But what I said was that Jesus taught that he is the Son of God who came into the world to save the world and to give his life as a ransom for it. If you disagree with that part of what I said, then that's what I mentioned.
Exactly, which is his sacrifice putting an end to sin sacrifice, correct?
That's not what I mentioned.
Wait, you don't believe? Wait, so Jesus coming and being a ransom for the world doesn't put an end to sin sacrifice?
it puts an end for the need of any sin sacrifice for your salvation, but that doesn't get rid of the tradition of sacrificing bulls, because we see that they do that even later. Do you disagree, though, that Jesus taught that he's the Son of God who was sent into the world to give his life and pour out his blood for the remission of sins?
All right, perfect. I believe that that theology is inconsistent with what the New Testament teaches, especially the teachings of his disciples, for example, James. Right, so you mentioned very briefly that although it put an end to the need of sin sacrifice, this doesn't necessarily eliminate the tradition. Now, let me ask you, were the disciples later practicing sin sacrifice?
Yeah, no. So let me just kind of backtrack here, because I don't feel like you answered the question. I asked, do you believe that Jesus taught that he is the Son of God who was sent into the world to give his life as a ransom, pouring out his blood for the remission of sins? What you responded by saying was, I believe that that theology is inconsistent with New Testament theology. So that's not really an answer to the question. So do
Yeah,
you
it is an
believe
answer.
Jesus taught this or no?
No, not in the way that you try to portray it, because the issue is when you make the claim that Jesus taught that he is the Son of God and his sacrifice was a ransom for mankind and that he put an end to the need of sin sacrifice, that is inconsistent with New Testament theology. So unless you want to say that the New Testament is inconsistent, then no, I would not grant that Jesus taught that in the way that you attempt to portray. Now,
Okay.
since I've answered that question, I
pause there, 'cause
I wasn't done speaking.
Okay,
So
'cause it sounds like you're about
since
to
I've
move on
answered
to
your
something
question,
else.
wait, no,
You
I
didn't,
answered
though.
your question. I said not in
No,
the
you
way
didn't.
that you attempt to portray it, such that
That's not an
Jesus.
answer to my question, Korra.
It is an answer to your question,
So,
actually.
look, look. So saying not in the way that you think implies that you do believe he taught this, just not in the way that I frame it.
No, I don't
So,
believe that Jesus taught that. No.
Thank you. So there it is. That's the answer.
How?
So the answer is no.
I do not believe that Jesus
I got
taught.
you.
Wait, hold on one
I
moment.
got you.
I'm
I
going
got
to
you.
clarify exactly what my answer was.
Okay.
I do not believe that Jesus taught that his sacrifice put an end to sin offering or the necessity of sin offering, which is Christian theology. I do not believe that Jesus taught that. And the reason as to
That's not
why
what I
that
asked you.
is for two. Wait, is that not part of what you said?
That's
You
not.
said Son
That's
of
not what I
God.
asked you.
Wait, you said Son of God, ransom for mankind. I said, okay, let's take Christian theology to the fullest. What the
Do you believe he
theology
taught that?
is about the theology
Okay. Can
of
we get
Jesus.
into
Wait,
that?
hold on. I'm in the middle of speaking. Yes, we can get into that, but we can get into that
Okay.
when I'm done talking. Okay?
Yeah, because it
So,
sounds like you're
the
moving from
point
point
that's
to
being
point,
made.
Korra.
No, I'm
We
not
gotta
moving from point
focus.
to point. I'm answering exhaustively. So the point
No,
that's
I
being
don't.
made
Not everything needs
is
to be
that
said exhaustively. If it's a
wait,
straight look, if it's a
wait,
short little
obviously
thing, we
everything
got to be
needs
able to
to be
engage.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to need
Okay.
to engage. And in order for you to engage with my points, I need to flush them out correctly. So
But you're
please
not
listen to
making
the words
points.
that are
You're
said.
trying to
It's a
address my points.
qualification. No, it's a qualification for my answer. Now, my
You don't have
answer
to
is
qualify
that
everything,
Jesus,
Korra.
I'm in the middle of talking. Please just calm down. It's okay. The point that's being made, Logic, is that when we take your theology as a whole pertaining to the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, no, I do not believe that Jesus Christ taught that his sacrifice put an end to the necessity for sin sacrifice, which is reflected
That's a
within your
shift.
Christian theology. Do you
Okay, no
agree that
worries.
Christianity teaches that?
That's a shift. I don't
Wait, can
care
you
about
answer the
that right
question?
now.
Do you
Hold on,
agree that
Korra.
Wait, can you
Korra,
answer my question?
one second, Korra.
Wait,
Because
can you
what
answer
you're
my question?
doing, hold on, Korra. What you're doing is shifting the discussion. We can talk about that'll be phase 2.
Can you answer the
Phase
question,
2.
Logic?
Hold on, Korra. Hold on, Korra. Now let me be exhaustive, right? Let me be exhaustive. Calm
I
down.
mean, I gave you an answer and then I
So hold on.
qualified.
No,
So can I get
but
an
you
answer?
didn't. No, your answer was yes,
I said
no, yes,
wait, no.
no.
I said no.
So Korra, let me
And then I
get it out
qualified.
just like you
So can you
just
answer?
like I let you get it out, Korra. Let
Go
me
ahead and
get it
answer,
out
okay?
now. I appreciate it. What you did and what you're trying to do is shift the discussion. The discussion isn't about whether or not this is the final end of sin offerings. The question was, do you believe that Jesus taught in the gospel that he is the Son of God that was sent into the world to give his life and pour out his blood for the remission of sins. Your answer is flip-floppy. At first, you're saying not in the way that I think, which implies, yes, you do believe that, but just not in the way that I believe it. But then when I brought that to you, you're saying, no, okay, no, I don't believe that. But then you're flip-flopping it back to your first answer. So before we get to whether or not this ends sin offerings as a whole, let's deal with phase one. Did he teach this at all? Did Jesus, it's a yes or no. If you don't believe that, we can get into it. Did Jesus teach that he's the Son of God who was sent into the world by his heavenly Father to give his life as a ransom for the remission of sins?
All right,
Yes or no?
beautiful. That's a great question.
Thank you.
Now, we're going to go ahead and flush out exactly what
It's a
that
yes or
means,
no.
because it
Answer
seems
the
we're
question,
going to
please.
have to break down what Christian theology
It's
is
a
for
yes
God
or
logic.
no, Korra, and then you can expound.
Can you
But I want
calm
an
down?
answer.
Oh, I want a yes or no for my question.
Your
Can I get a
question
yes
is
or
a
no for my
segue.
question?
Your question
Wait,
is
hold
off
on. Can I
topic.
get a yes or no for my question?
You will once we get to that topic. I promise.
No, wait,
But
hold on.
first you
Logic.
gotta
I
focus.
think you have a fundamental misunderstanding of how this conversation
Can
is
you
going
answer
right
the
now.
question, Korra?
So I answer questions when I get my questions answered. So
Korra,
Logic,
can you answer the
instead of
question,
you
please?
hey Logic, do you mind not interrupting?
Korra, do you mind answering the question?
Interrupting kind of feels like you're kind of
Korra,
panicked.
do you
So
believe
can you do
that
me a
Jesus is
favor?
the Son of God?
Can you do
that
me a
Jesus taught he's the
favor?
Son of God
Can you
that
do
was
me a
sent into
favor
the
and
world to
calm
give his life as a
down?
ransom,
Why are you
and
so
that belief in
panicked,
him
Logic?
brings
This
remission
is a
of
civilized
sins?
conversation.
Do you believe that
Why
Jesus
are you
taught that?
so
Yes
panicked, Logic? What is
or
going on
no,
here?
Korra? Yes or
What
no,
is going on
Korra?
here?
Yes
Now,
or no,
it
Korra?
seems we're going to have to break
Do
down
you
Logic's
believe it,
question.
Korra?
So Jesus
Hey, host,
does
if she's not going to engage,
teach.
brother,
Well,
I
I'm
want to get
actually
back to our
I'm engaging
conversation.
right now, but you're doing the shift. You're doing the
So
panic,
what's going on?
and you're
If Korra's
completely and
going to
utterly not
shift and not
allowing
answer
me
the
to
question and not
answer.
engage what we're on,
Is this
I
guy
want
not
to
going to let
continue
me
talking
answer?
with
What's
you, my
going
brother.
on?
Yo, I got you. Listen, I don't even know. I got up to grab my mic. I came back and I don't even know where the conversation went. Can one of you two, I don't care which one it
I can.
is.
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you
Yeah.
right now. So she jumped into the conversation on a misconception of what I was saying. She tried to jump in and address, he said, are you saying that Jesus' sacrifice brings an end to sin offering? Now,
Wait, hold on, one moment.
now,
Sorry.
Isa,
That's
hold
wait,
on a
no,
second.
no.
That's
Sister,
what
I'm
you,
gonna let you speak.
Korra,
I just want to hear what he
relax,
has to say,
Korra.
and if you
It's
disagree, I'll let you tell
okay.
me.
It's okay. So I went on talking to, I told Korra, well, you'll see the tradition of sin offering still being practiced. However, that's not a necessity anymore for the remission of your sins because Christ is, the sufficient sacrifice. However, that's not what we were talking about. What we were talking about, whether or not Jesus taught that he's the Son of God who was sent into the world to give his life as a ransom, which brings remission of sins through his blood.
So understood. I think I see where you're going. And so
yeah,
you're saying that she asked a question and that was a segue and that's why you didn't answer it?
correct.
Okay,
Correct.
Korra. Now,
okay,
Korra,
perfect. Now my question was
do you
actually
agree
perfect
that that's
on
what was
point.
taking place?
No, I don't. So
okay.
I'm going to go ahead and break down what happened.
Okay.
So I came on the panel and I asked him a question, right, about his theology and his belief, right? And my question was specifically pertaining to Christian theology when it says that Jesus' sacrifice, and this directly correlates to what you guys were speaking about, because you were talking about the crucifixion. Now, when Jesus on the cross says it is finished, obviously he's referring to the end of sin sacrifice. So it directly correlates to exactly what you guys were talking about, which was the theology that he comes to be a ransom for the sins of mankind and so on and so forth. So my question was perfectly on topic. So I asked him, did Jesus Christ's crucifixion put an end to sin sacrifice, of which he was incapable of responding to? It's as simple as that. So can I get a response to that, Logic?
So
Is
Isa,
that what she asked you? Because I wasn't here.
Yeah, no. So that's not the train of events that happened. She asked that as a segue of our discussion.
Wait, can I get an answer to
Listen,
that?
I hear you.
Yeah,
Listen,
so-
both of you, please. I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you, bro.
I told her I have no problem going into that, and that's phase 2.
Okay,
but
so
she's
can you
avoiding phase
please
1.
can you just give her an answer and then we'll get into that later? But for now, can you just give her an answer and then you can finish
Okay,
whatever
sure.
it was?
Absolutely sure. So yes, Jesus' sacrifice puts an end for sin offerings to be necessary for your salvation or remission of your sins. Yes. So we can get into that later once we come.
No.
to that
I
bridge.
think it's necessary to get into that now.
Do you see that, Issa? You see how
It's
she's trying to
extreme-
jump
wait,
in?
Listen,
And now that we have an answer, we should break that down now.
because you two were. Let me just get my words together because there's a lot that I stepped out to grab my mic for, and it took me a second to find it, and I wasn't even paying attention to what was being said. So I don't want to interrupt on the dialogue that you two are having. I don't want to just jump back in, and because I don't. If anyone who watches my live knows that I don't like double teaming people, I don't like ganging up on people. I don't like doing that. So I'm just going to say what I have to say, and then I'm going to back up and let you finish. And whichever one of you leaves first, I'll continue speaking with the one who's left. But all I'm saying is that, I don't necessarily agree that sin sacrifice was ever necessary for the forgiveness of sin, but I'll let you two, if you want to talk about that with me after you're done talking about that with her, that's fine. That's all I wanted to say. You two can finish.
Okay, let me break. Now that I got my answer, I can build off of that.
Hold on a second, Korra.
I
Hold
got
on a
my
second,
answer. Wait,
Korra.
you answered the question.
Korra. I'm
Now
still
it's my
talking
turn to
the
speak.
host. I'm still talking
Wait,
to
no,
the host.
the host just said that he's done
I'm
speaking
still
and he's gonna
talking
let us
to
talk.
the host, please.
Well, the host is not still talking to you,
Issa,
so
man,
how
brother,
about you
look,
engage
you
with
and
the topic?
you and I were having a good back and forth, man.
Look, let's do this.
not
Just say
exaggerating.
whatever
The host
it
is
is.
no longer
Listen,
talking to
say
you,
whatever
so
it
it's
is you
time
want
to
to say
talk.
to me. Say whatever it is you want to say to me. I'm not going to respond to it while you two are talking. You can say what you want to say to me just so I know what it is you want to say, and then you can continue talking to her. Is that fair?
Sure.
Okay, whatever it is you want to say, go ahead.
Depends. Absolutely. It depends, though. It depends on if I'm going to continue talking with her, if she continues these shenanigans. Because you just said that, hey, Avery, can you give her a quick answer to her question? And then we can get to that later after we deal with the first part. I said, yes, sure, no problem. Based on that, I will answer her question right now. And then we can get there later after we deal with the point that we're on that she's trying so desperately to avoid. So,
Understood.
where we're at, right.
Understood.
So that's the only way I'm going to talk to her. If she engages with phase 1, then we can go step by step to phase 2 to what she's trying to bring up. No problem.
Korra,
Okay,
correct me if I'm wrong.
Though. Wait, hold
Correct
on,
me if I'm wrong, Korra. I don't mean to interrupt you. Is it that you feel as if that his answer to the question is like part of your response, and that's why you want to address it now?
His answer to the question, what's interesting is he keeps saying phase 2, phase 2. To me, this kind of just feels like a running tactic because this is perfectly on topic to exactly what you guys were speaking about previously, which was whether or not Jesus taught, 1, that he was the Son of God, 2, that he was going to come and be a ransom for the sins of mankind, and that entails putting an end to sin sacrifice, because that's exactly what he said he was going to do.
Issa, is that what we're
so
talking
that's
about?
not phase 2, that's phase now.
Sacrifice, Issa?
Wait, that's
Tell
not
her the
phase
truth.
2, that's phase now, because it's a
Issa,
necessary
were we
entailment for the
talking about
theology that you
whether or
guys
not
were speaking
Jesus puts
about.
an end to
Can
sin
you do me a
sacrifice?
favor and stop interrupting
Can you
me
tell
in the
her?
middle of speaking, Logic? Stop freaking out. Why
Issa,
are you
you can
panicking?
bring
Stop
clarity
appealing
to
to
the
the host who said he's no longer
conversation.
speaking to you.
Yeah, no one can hear anyone right now. I'm sure both of you are aware of this. No one can hear anyone.
Just saying, you can bring clarity, Issa, because she's
Okay.
confused about the conversation we were having. Bring
Me,
clarity.
I understand that you think she's confused about what was happening, but I'm going to say what me and you were talking about, and then I'm just going to have to give my opinion on something because I think I'm noticing something taking place here. So me and you were talking about whether or not Jesus was even. So we were talking because I brought up the fact that Luke seems to heavily soften atonement language where the other gospels use it. Yeah, nice gift, whoever just sent that. I brought up that it seems that Luke seems to heavily soften atonement language whenever the author is narrating, the same event that takes place in other gospels where the atonement language is a lot more clear. So that's what we were talking about initially.
You and I were talking about whether or not Jesus taught whether or not he came for atonement, right? That's what we were talking about, correct?
Not exactly, because I was only referring to the Gospel of Luke.
bro.
No, please, bro. We've been respectful to each other. Please don't do that now.
Wait, host, I'm sorry. I think that this guy's truly just being disingenuous.
So hold on, Issa.
Listen, you're being disingenuous to the host.
So we were not talking about whether or not Jesus teaches that he came to give his life
host,
as an
if you don't
atonement
mind,
for
can I
sin?
just engage with this guy? Because he's not going to stop.
That's not what we were talking
You
about.
He's not
mentioned
gonna
here,
stop.
I'm going to answer what you just asked, Godlogic, and then I'm done talking until one of you two leaves. I'm not going to kick either one of you. I give you my word. Wallahi, I'm not. What we were talking about was you came up, the prompt said, Christians, why aren't you Muslim?
Brother, that's
and
not
you're,
the issue.
let me explain, bro. I'm going to say what we were talking about. Dude, just calm down. I'm going to say what we were talking. I'm not even here to interrupt in your conversation. You asked me what we were talking about so I could clarify. That's what I'm doing. You came up and you said that one of the first reason you gave is that Jesus seems to have, or that Islam has a theology that's contradictory with the prophets of the Old Testament and Jesus. And then you brought up atonement. And we were talking about manuscript traditions in Luke and manuscript traditions in John. And then I brought up the fact that it seems that the Gospel of Luke seems to heavily soften atonement language, whereas the other ones don't. And then that's the point basically where she came into the conversation while we were talking about
that's not where she came in. No, sir.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm sorry.
Issa, this is why this is like
no,
this is
wait, hold on.
like
One moment.
Issa, you and I were talking about
No.
If you're not going to be honest
I'm gonna be honest with you. You're doing too much of a
now she's trying to overtalk.
This is genuinely just disingenuous.
Issa,
go ahead.
You and I were talking very clearly.
I'm sorry. In the nicest way possible, this guy's gonna have to engage right now. This guy's gonna have to engage with the substance right now because this is getting embarrassing. This is genuinely getting embarrassing.
Okay.
Host, I haven't been able to get a word out because he keeps appealing to you, host.
Issa, is that what we were talking about?
Truly. So, host, if you don't mind, can we just jump into the dialogue?
Issa, is that what we were talking about?
All right, perfect.
Go ahead. I didn't even hear what you said. I didn't even hear what you said, bro. But go ahead.
I'm gonna say it again.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. About
now, he's done speaking to you, Logic. You're gonna have to engage with this. I know you don't want to engage with the substance, but Logic, he's done talking to you.
Can you answer the question?
So you're gonna have to engage with the substance. So Logic, you agree he's not speaking to you. So stop running. Stop running, Logic.
You're muting up when your sister Korra doesn't.
Wait, hold on. Now that you hold on. Can you answer the question now? Did the disciples
Korra, what you're
stop
gonna do is you're
performing sin sacrifice after the crucifixion of Jesus Christ?
You're going to get anything in this
Did the disciples stop
trying
performing
to skip to phase
sin
2
sacrifice after the
One.
crucifixion? Logic, you're gonna have to answer the question.
What is your actual answer?
Did the disciples stop performing sin sacrifice after the crucifixion? Hey, Bud, I'm asking the question, so you're gonna have to give some answers. Logic, I'm asking the question, so you're the one. This guy is panicking. What is going on here?
Or no, Korra?
Did the disciples stop performing sin sacrifice after the crucifixion? Logic, this is so embarrassing. Can you not answer simple questions about Christian theology? So you ran from the Orthodox Muslim, and now you're running from me in real time? Did the disciples stop engaging in sin sacrifice after the crucifixion? Logic, you are embarrassing yourself right now. It's a yes or no. Did they stop engaging in sin sacrifice after the crucifixion? Logic,
it's a yes,
stop
no, yes,
panicking
no.
and start answering.
We don't even know what you think about this situation.
Stop
Korra.
panicking and start answering, Logic. Stop panicking and stop answering, man.
Engage then, Korra. Engage.
Wait, hold on. Stop panicking.
Start growing
chat,
up
do you see
and
the way?
engage, Korra.
Do you see the way this guy is absolutely? Yo, put a 1 in the chat if this guy's running, bro.
All right,
put a 1 in the chat if this guy's completely
is this what you want your live to do or what?
1 in the chat if this guy's panicked. What is this guy doing?
Mic, Issa,
what is this guy? And now you're appealing to the host. You're embarrassing yourself.
Is this what's going to go on? Because if this is what's going on, then I could be done. Like,
brother, what's going to go on?
Of course he wants to be done.
What do you
I
mean
already answered his question.
You're both doing the same thing to each other. You're both asking each other questions.
Let me say this very clearly, Issa. You brought up Korra, which I had no problem with. I have no problem engaging
This
with
is so
Korra.
embarrassing.
If you're gonna bring,
Wait, Issa, in the nicest way possible. Wait, hold on, Issa.
You
In the
brought up
nicest way
Korra,
possible.
and
Did I
notice how
not
she's already being
answer this guy's
belligerent
question?
and interrupting me.
Logic, look
She
down real
has
quick.
no self-control. She's acting
Logic,
like a
look
child.
down real quick.
She cannot allow people to speak.
Logic,
Okay, I hear
you
what you're
as the
trying to
host
say.
answered, so you're gonna have to
With
answer
you
mine.
as the host.
Avery, I hear what you're trying to say. I can't hear
All right.
both of you when you're both talking. Can I
So
hear what
can
Korra's
you
trying to
moderate?
say?
All right,
Can
thank you.
Can I hear what Korra's trying to? I can't moderate if I
No,
can't hear what's being said.
I'm confused. I was in the middle of talking.
Wait,
to you.
no.
I was interrupted by
It's not
Korra,
time for you to be
and now you're
confused.
trying
It's
to
time
give
for me to
Korra
talk.
the mic to speak.
It's not time for you to be
What?
confused, Logic. It's time for you to talk.
No, Avery. All I said is that you just asked me to moderate. I can't moderate if I can't hear what's being said. First of all,
In the middle of me, look. Let me say what I was
yes,
about
we
to
were
say.
having a
No,
conversation.
it's not.
and I
It's
already
not
you don't
time
even
for
hear.
you
You
to
don't,
speak, bro.
Issa,
It's not
for
time for you to
clarity's sake,
speak.
bro, you need to hear what I'm saying, bro. You and I were having
Wait,
a
hold
good,
on,
a good
Arisa,
back and
Arisa.
forth.
Arisa,
You brought
peep
up
this,
this
peep this.
troll to interrupt the conversation.
I did it.
When you
Well,
and I were
this
having
poor
a
guy's
conversation-
insulting.
please with the
One
name
second,
calling.
Issa.
Don't do.
Poor
Please
guy.
You and I
call
were
each other
so
having,
names.
you and I
You're
were
getting
having a good
aggressive.
conversation, Issa.
Why are you
And
getting
when we were having
aggressive,
a
Logic? What's
conversation
going
about
on?
something specific,
I
Korra
can't.
Bro,
comes
Arisa,
and
this
tries
guy's
to
getting
shift
aggressive
the
and I need to
discussion.
talk.
Avery, I hear
When
your point.
Korra tries to
Avery,
shift the
Avery,
discussion, one second, I'm
Avery.
gonna land my point.
Go
When
ahead,
Korra
please.
tries to come and shift the discussion, and I say, hold on, we can get to that later. First, answer this, which me and Issa was talking about.
All right,
So if
perfect. And
Korra trying to
Issa,
dodge
I
what we
actually
were talking
answered
about,
that question.
nothing
Maybe
is
he
going to
was
happen
so freaked
until
out. Look at
she's
this guy
able
screaming.
to engage with
Why is
point
this guy
number
screaming,
one.
bro? Logic,
But
why are you getting
Avery,
You
aggressive?
understand the point?
Avery,
Why
if
is
she,
So
he
we
getting
can't get past
aggressive? What
this.
is going
There is
on?
no discussion. I'd
This
rather
guy
talk to
is
you.
getting
I
panicked
hear you, and I'm
aggressive,
willing to
bro.
talk to you once your conversation with her. Listen, all I'm trying to
I'm
say
done
is,
talking to her. She's a child. I'm done
if
talking
she
to her.
feels like that, if she feels like,
That's a tap out right there, Issa. Do you see this?
I hear you. Okay, go. Let me just say what I got to say. The Korra, I'm going to let you speak now because I can't hear what's taking place. All I'm saying is that me and you were having a conversation. I stepped back when I felt like we were at a point where we could pause it, and I wanted to let you two speak. I went to grab my microphone, and that's what I did. I came back, and I didn't even know what was being spoken about when I first sat down because all I heard was a bunch of yelling. So I just let you land your point. So all I'm trying to say, this is what I feel like is taking place, is that if Korra feels as if that a response to the first point is necessary to making her point in the first place, then I feel like that. I mean, she kind of needs that. I mean, if you feel,
I don't care.
Thank you, host. I appreciate that, host, genuinely. And
I'm
what's
done talking to
interesting,
her. If she's
what's
not gonna engage with
interesting is
phase
that
one,
this
I'm
guy
done
is
talking to her.
incapable of engaging because his
you wanna allow her to
question
dodge
is whether
everything. I'm not allowing
one
her to dodge.
logic.
I don't feel
I
like
know
that's
you're
what's
trying to
happening.
get
All I'm
aggressive, but that's not what's going to
And
happen. on this
anybody
live.
and their mama can see what's
You're
happening. She's
trying to
dodging
get
phase
you're
one.
getting
She's
pa-
dodging
you're
the question that we
panicking and you're
asked
getting
her
aggressive,
to
bro.
try to
Calm
shuffle
down.
the conversation somewhere
Logic,
else.
this is genuinely
She's trying to do the
embarrassing. Why
Muslim
are you
shuffle,
so
and
panicked,
unfortunately,
bro?
Korra, we don't allow the Muslim
Dude,
shuffle
just take
here.
a chill pill. It's
We
okay,
hold
bro.
you to the fire.
Don't dodge
Korra.
and don't run.
Sorry, Korra.
Your
We
point
hold
was
you to the
engaged
fire.
with.
oh my
Host,
hold
god,
you to
can
the
I
fire.
speak, bro? Host,
Yes,
can I get a
Logic,
word
please
out?
just let her speak. Please just let her
Yeah,
speak.
she can say it. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, she can say what she
All right,
wants to say.
perfect.
but
I
I'm
appreciate
letting
it,
you know,
host.
Issa,
I appreciate
after
it,
she
host.
says this, I'm talking to you. I'm not
I
talking to her.
appreciate it,
It's
host.
simple as
All
that.
right. No, you're speaking to me. You're not speaking to the host. So what's interesting is that his question was already answered. He asked, did Jesus preach the following theology, that he is the Son of God and that he was going to essentially be his sacrifice was going to be the remission of sins and so on and so forth. And I said, perfect. That is what he's trying to flush out as Christian theology pertaining to sin atonement, as well as his place within reality. Now, I said, no, Jesus does not preach what you believe he preaches about sin atonement, and we were going to build off of that, but unfortunately he was not capable of engaging. So now we're going to have to talk about what Jesus did teach. So Jesus did not teach sin atonement in the way that Christians attempt to portray, and it's very obvious because Jesus, his brother, James, clearly did not
teach it at
believe
all?
that he put, but shh, be quiet, I'm in the middle of talking.
Did he
There's no need to
teach it
panic.
at all?
Don't panic, I'm in the middle of
Stop
talking.
being ambiguous
So the
and
point
answer the
that's
question.
being
Did he
made
teach it at
is
all?
that Jesus does not teach that. Why is this guy panicking? This grown man's interrupting me. This grown man is interrupting me. Don't interrupt me, thanks.
Did he teach it at all?
Thank you,
Korra?
Logic. Don't interrupt me. Thank you, Logic. Don't interrupt me.
Stop wasting our time.
What's interesting is the idea that Jesus' sacrifice put an end to sin sacrifice is not reflected within the theology of the New Testament because Jesus' disciples did not believe it. So let me ask you a question. Logic, why in Acts 21?
Me another question.
Wait, hold on, Logic. It's okay. I'm going to ask you the question if you want to run.
Did he teach it at all, Korra?
If I'm going to ask you a question if you want to run.
Yes or no?
That's not my problem.
Korra?
If you want to run, that's not my problem.
Did he teach that he gave his life as a ransom for the remission of sins at all,
James and the disciples perform a sin offering after the crucifixion? Why?
Yes or no, Korra?
Why do they perform a sin offering after the crucifixion?
Korra?
Stop speaking over me. Answer the question.
Yes or no, Korra?
Why does James, the brother of Jesus, make Paul do a sin offering?
I'm gonna give you one more chance. I'm gonna give you one more chance.
Do me a favor and stop running and answer the question.
Stop dodging
Do me a favor, stop running and answer the question, Logic.
You prove yourself
Do
to be
me
the
a
coward as
favor
usual,
and stop running and answer the question. I'm going to give you one more chance.
According to Luke,
I'm going to give you one more chance. Stop being a coward. Stop being a coward, Logic. Why does Jesus, the brother of James,
as a ransom?
Wait, hold on. Why does Jesus, the brother of James, make Paul engage in a sin offering in Acts 21?
To give his life as a ransom,
does Jesus, wait, hold on. Why does the brother of Jesus, James, make Paul engage in a sin offering after the crucifixion?
Okay.
Logic, why are you having a panic attack? Just
listen, can I say something, please? Can I say something, please?
I'm done talking to her.
This is so embarrassing. Can you just engage?
Okay.
This is so embarrassing for Logic,
listen. Both of you, please.
You'll get better. It's hard out here, man. You're struggling, bro.
Both of you, please listen.
You get better at this.
You're struggling, bro. So it's okay when you stop running from me.
You'll get both of you a question right now.
When you stop running from me, you'll feel better.
I'm gonna ask both of you a question right now, and hopefully this can redirect the conversation back to being something productive based on both of your answers.
Hey, Issa, I'm letting you know right now, there's no conversation between me and Korra. I'm talking to you. If you're not going to talk to me, if we're not having a discussion,
I told you I'm willing to talk to you. I told you I'm willing to talk to you. But
okay, good. So let's talk, bro. Let's continue.
Yeah, but he also said he's willing to talk to you after you're done talking to me.
I have to be able to speak, bro. I have to be able to speak.
I'm listening. Korra's talking over you now.
Okay, I have to. Okay, I'm going to ask both of you a question. Both of you, don't interrupt me. No one talk over me. Don't address each other while I'm speaking, please. Both of you address me when I ask you a question. Korra, is it your position that you're saying because James and the disciples after the crucifixion were still participating in sin sacrifices? Is this what you're using as evidence? That are you saying that this is evidence that his alleged crucifixion wasn't even a sin sacrifice at all?
What I'm saying is that if he wants to say that Jesus taught the theology that his sacrifice put an end to sin sacrifice or sin offerings, then he's going to have to call the New Testament inconsistent because the disciples engaged in sin offering after the crucifixion, even though Jesus said it was done.
Yes, in Acts, I know. So logic. Why I don't understand why there's an issue surrounding this. What's the problem? Because again, I don't think I understand what's wrong with what she's saying. Like why can't you engage with that?
I'm gonna say it one last time, brother. This will be the last time I explain this. And if after this you and I don't have a discussion, I'll bounce. Okay? So here's the problem. The problem is that we were not talking about whether or not the remission of sins or the sacrifice Jesus brings is an end to sin offering in general. That's not what we were talking about. Although that is a question that is worthy of asking, that's a different question with a different discussion, which I literally said I have no problem going over. Which in fact, when you said, hey, Avery, can you just for now just answer her question for now, and then we can get to that later.
Yes,
and I said, yes, I answered her question straight away, and with the expectation that we were going to continue from where we left off in the conversation.
Okay,
so the problem is, let me land it.
Go ahead.
The problem is that Korra is shifting to the discussion to whether or not the remission of sins that Jesus brings puts an end to sin offering in general, or did people practice it later on, versus whether he taught that he, as the Son of God, was sent into the world to give his life as a ransom for many for the remission of sins? Did he teach this at all? And she can't answer this. She flip-flopped
When is this guy gonna stop
to
waffling,
give
bro?
a yes or no to this.
Okay,
So
this guy is waffling.
So this is why I
dude.
say, Korra, it's okay, Korra.
This is so embarrassing,
so
dude.
Issa,
Okay,
so that's
I
why.
hear.
What the heck?
I've heard both
Let
of
me
you.
let-
I hear.
Good.
Do you have
So this
anything
is
else you
why-
need to add on that point before
Yeah,
I say what I'm about to say?
Yep, this just like 15 seconds.
Go ahead.
So this is why I'm hounding her on this point for her to answer the question, which we were talking about. Then we can lead to the other discussion she wants to have. She's
Okay.
dodging it.
Okay, so what? Okay, now I think I understand what's going on. So it seems to me, and again, if I am incorrect about either of your positions, I'm open to being corrected. Please, one at a time. It seems to me that you're saying that she's going back to a point that you said you would address later, but it also seems to me that she feels that that point is a necessary aspect of her argument that's being made in the first conversation. Am I right about both of your positions?
And host, what's interesting is
Yeah,
my point was very clear.
I don't care about her
host.
position.
Wait, one
She's
moment.
dodging.
So my point was very clear, host, right? And even you understood it. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
The point that's being made is that you guys were discussing whether or not Jesus preached that his sacrifice was going to atone for the sins of mankind, essentially the crucifixion theology.
Yeah.
Right? As alongside him being the Son of God and things of that nature.
Yep.
My question directly correlates to the topic because we're talking about the topic of the crucifixion. And what does the crucifixion theology teach? That Jesus' sacrifice is going to put an end to sin atonement, sin atonement and sin offerings. So my point is perfectly on topic, and unfortunately, logic was incapable of engaging. I asked the question a multitude of different times. Everybody here understood it. And I answered his question very clearly as well. I said, no, Jesus does not teach this crucifixion theology that you attempt to show that he teaches, unless you want to say that the New Testament is inconsistent.
You
I'm
said
in the middle
not
of
in the way that I
he's
believe
interrupting.
it.
Again, this guy
Korra,
is interrupting and
why are you lying?
panicked.
You got to let her finish, bro.
Can you do
I had
all
her
of
let
us
you
a
finish.
favor
I
and
had her let you
stop?
finish. Please just let her finish.
Can you do us all a
ahead.
favor and stop panicking, Logic?
Listen,
Issa,
Avery,
make sure you and I engage
Stop,
after this,
bro. What
Avery,
is
we
this?
can
Let's
do
the
that.
dash,
All I'm
dude.
saying is, Avery, is that you have 3,000 people in here right now. A lot of them are your followers, and I'm sure that they actually are interested in this conversation that's taking place.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Why
I
do
mean,
you
I'm
think
sure.
they're not?
I'm sure.
My audience is educated enough to know when there's somebody belligerent on the
I
stage.
think the 3,000 people on this live would love to hear the question be answered.
They have no idea how to have a conversation.
This
No
guy
one wants
is
to hear a belligerent
actually
person on the stage.
incapable of engaging. This is so embarrassing.
Well, I mean, apparently they
Nice
do because
projection,
they're all
Korra.
still
I'm
here,
sure
and
the
this conversation's
3,000
being
people in
taken
this
place.
live would love to hear. Wait, hold on,
we're waiting
guys.
on you and
One
I
in
to
the chat if
engage.
you guys want Logic to engage.
So we're just still waiting for you and I to engage.
One in the chat if you guys
Issa?
want Logic to engage with the topic.
I'm done trying to.
All right.
I'm done debating.
You're not done
arguing about
running.
Here's an
because you're
idea.
still doing
Here's
She
it.
an
ran
idea.
from the discussion.
You're
Here's an
not done
idea.
running because you're
Here's
still
an
doing
I'm
it.
idea.
done with her.
I
Do you
have
want
an
to
idea.
You're
engage or
not
not,
done
Issa?
running because you're still doing
Logic,
it though.
Avery, talk to me, Avery. I have an
I
idea.
am. Do you want to engage or not?
So you could give your argument for whatever it is you want to give that we were talking about. After me and you respond and you feel like that you've had your question sufficiently answered, or I feel like I've had mine answered, are you willing to continue speaking with her after me and you speak?
As long as she's willing to engage. No problem.
Okay, now are you willing to acknowledge that she feels that your response to her question is a necessary aspect of her argument in the first
Oh,
place?
trust me, brother. Trust me, brother. I acknowledge what she's saying. This is why I know what she's doing. I acknowledge what she's saying, which is a complete shuffle and dodge. I acknowledge what she's doing.
But if
Wait,
it's,
we all know
if
she's
it's
doing.
necessary for her
Host,
argument,
wait,
it's not a
wait,
dodge.
host, I'm
She just
sorry.
has to
Wait.
have
It is
to
a
clarify.
dodge. It is a dodge.
Host, in the nicest way
What's
possible.
necessary
Wait,
for her
hold on.
argument is for her to
Host.
get away from the question.
In the nicest way possible,
That's what's
host.
necessary.
Let me ask you a question, host.
So are
Obviously,
you ready?
Ezra.
No.
Let me
No,
ask
host,
you a
what are we
question,
doing,
Ezra.
bro? Are you
Is
are
the
we talking or
question
what?
not perfectly on topic
Are
with
we
Your
talking
question,
or what?
Jesus' theology?
Are we
yes,
talking
Korra, it
or
is.
what,
Yes,
Issa?
Korra, it
Okay,
is. But I'm going to
so
speak with
why
Avery.
can't he engage?
Thank you.
You have
So
to
let's
ask him
engage
that. I
now.
don't know.
Yeah, okay,
I don't know.
Logic. Why aren't you engaging, bro?
Hey, Korra, go
The
ahead and
host
be
agrees
silent.
that it's
I'm going to talk to
perfectly on
Issa.
topic.
Be
Wait,
silent,
hold
Korra.
on.
I'm
The
gonna talk to
host
someone
agrees
who's
that
ready
it's
to talk.
perfectly on topic. So can you
Thank
engage with
you,
the topic,
Korra.
Logic?
Oh, thank you, Korra. Take care
Are
of
you
yourself.
are you gonna engage with the topic?
Go ahead and be quiet while
Wait, are
me
you,
and the host
bro,
speak.
host? Can this guy be quiet? Are you gonna engage
What do you
with the
mean?
topic?
You just asked me a question. Now
Wait,
you
are
want me
you
to be
gonna
quiet. What
engage
do you
with the
want?
topic?
Yes, no,
Wait, are
yes,
you
no,
gonna wait?
again,
Hold on.
Korra.
You're either gonna engage with the topic or you're done.
So, Issa, are you ready to talk?
Are
or
you?
what?
Are you? Okay, so it seems he's not gonna engage.
Well, the thing is that we were talking about basically the same exact thing, so I don't see what you.
Exactly.
Yep. So I'm
Thank you,
gonna
host.
talk to you,
That's
Issa.
a beautiful
And if
point,
and if
host. The
Korra
topic
is ready to
is
stop running
exactly
away
the
and ready to
same.
answer directly,
So wait, hold on. So
she
since
has
the topic was
next.
exactly the same, host, as you
So let's go ahead and get
let's
into
just
it, Issa.
engage.
All right, so
where
here,
we-
let's do this.
so
Let me
where we
just
left
hear
off-
Avery's argument. Let me just
Wait,
hear
hold on,
Avery's
host.
argument.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If he doesn't want to engage right now, then I am
Now,
just gonna
now
go
she's
off.
trying to take over.
Wait,
So
hold on.
good job.
If he's
Bye.
not gonna engage, then I'm just gonna
Bye
go.
bye. Go ahead and run off.
Is this
Korra,
guy
as
not gonna
usual.
engage? Because he's gonna keep
Run off
talking
as
over me.
usual, Korra.
You're
He's gonna
both,
keep panicking.
to be fair, Avery, you're both threatening to leave the panel, so I don't think it's fair for. I mean, you're both threatening to leave, so I don't see how you can say.
It's,
well,
it's all
Wait,
good. She
the
can
difference
bounce,
is
man.
wait, hold on. You want to know what the difference is, though, host?
You can
He's
bounce,
threatening to
Korra.
leave. Wait, hold on. You know what's so crazy? He's
Bounce.
threatening to leave because he has to engage with me,
Bounce.
and
Take
I'm
care of
threatening to
yourself.
leave because he's
Unless
refusing.
you're able to answer a direct
Wait, that's
question,
the distinction.
bounce.
He's
Take care of
threatening
yourself,
to leave
Korra.
because he has to engage
Salam
with me,
alaikum.
and I'm
Bye-bye.
threatening to leave because he's refusing.
Bye-bye. Salam
Okay,
alaikum.
That's
here,
the
here,
difference between
here.
the
I'm
both
gonna
sides.
try to.
Salam
I'm gonna try to
alaikum.
even this out a little
Bye.
bit. I'm gonna try to even this out. Korra, are you willing to let him finish his argument? Are you willing to? Because I know what your point is. I know what your point you're trying to make. It seems like that if you don't answer his question with a yes or no, which he does that a lot, he wants a straight yes or no. It seems
That's
that if
right.
you're, it seems that if you, but it's not always just a clear yes or no. There's always
This one
context to
is.
things. It. I mean, if you want to say that, there's an argument to be made, but all I'm saying is, it seems as if he's unwilling to continue the conversation unless you answer the most recent question he asked you with a straight yes or no. So are you at very
Okay.
willing? Are
Well,
you?
what's
Are you at least?
interesting though, host, is I'm gonna ask you a question. Is this a Muslim
Look,
panel or is this a Christian
she
panel?
can't even
It's
answer
a-
your
it's a Muslim
question.
panel. I'm a
Wait,
Muslim.
okay, this is obviously a Muslim panel, so Logic is gonna have to learn that he's not able to control
She-
Muslim lives.
Issa,
No, I'm not
Issa,
asking
she-
you to let him control it. I'm not
You
asking
get
you
what
to
I
let him
mean?
control it.
She
I'm
said she
trying
can't
to
even
keep
answer
it.
your
Regardless
question,
of
Issa.
whether or not, wait, hold on.
She's
Regardless of
incapable
whether
of
or
even
not, is
answering
this
you,
guy
Issa.
okay? Why
Answer
is this
him.
guy manifesting yet again?
Yes or no? Are you willing
Can you
to answer the
can
question?
you do us
Yes or
all
no?
a favor? Can you do us all
Why
a
can't you
favor?
answer your Muslim brother's
question has
question?
been
Hold on,
answered
Avery. I have
like
to let her.
over
I have
3
to hear what she's
times.
trying to say, bro. Just
This
let me.
Go
guy's
ahead.
question, what's so interesting, this guy's question has been answered like over 3 times. And for some reason, he insists on doing this panicked, nervous laugh,
Okay.
interrupting behavior.
And your answer
It's
to his
so
question was no,
embarrassing.
right?
My answer to the question
you.
is Jesus does not teach the theology pertaining to the crucifixion that Christians attempt to portray that he did.
Do you hear that?
That's
you see
the
how
point.
You see how she qualifies that?
So he
how
did
Christians
not
portray it.
teach.
What's
We're not
wrong with
asking-
the
Yeah,
qualifying
Christians such
statement?
as Godlogic.
Look,
Yeah.
Issa.
Jesus
Look,
does
Issa,
not
it's like
preach
this.
what you guys try to
Look,
show he
Issa,
preaches.
It's like this. It's like this. It's
This
like
is
if
so
I ask you-
laughable. Now
if
that
I
the
ask
question's
you-
been
if I ask
answered,
you,
can he
Issa,
engage?
Does Jesus teach
Wait, hold
that
on,
God
Arisa.
is
Now
one?
that his question has
And
been,
then you
Bro,
answer
can this
and
guy
say,
get muted or
well,
something? He's manifesting.
I don't believe that
Can
Jesus
this guy
taught
get
that
muted,
God
bro?
is one in
He's
the way
actually
that you believe
incapable
God
of
is
engaging.
one.
Why is this guy screaming, bro?
Do you see how that's not
I
an
don't
This guy's
think- I don't
wait,
think
I
she'll
wasn't
ever
even
say
done
that to that
talking.
question, to
He's
be fair,
talking
though.
over me. Can he get
Look,
muted?
so Issa, so
Can
here
this
we
guy
have it.
get muted?
So
He's talking
I
over
need
me.
one at a time. I need one at a time. I
Can
need
this
one at
guy
a
get
time.
muted?
Right.
He's talking over
Avery,
me.
Right.
Avery, I've multiple times I've asked her to let you finish. So can you please let her finish really quick, and then I'll hear you
Brother,
too.
she did finish. What are you talking
Wait,
about?
hold on. Wait, no. This guy
Once I
started
started talking, she
laughing and
started talking over
panicking
me.
in the middle of my
What the
answer.
heck?
Literally in the middle of my answer, he starts laughing and panicking.
Bro, I'm
so
confused,
the point
man. What do
that's
you wanna-
being
what do you wanna
made,
do, bro?
the point that's being made is that Jesus
Issa, what do you want to do, man?
does not
I just want you to let her
teach-
finish, and then I'll let you
Yeah,
say what you have to say.
what needs to happen, what he wants you to do
So
is stop talking
after
over
she
me.
finishes, can you and I
Wait,
engage?
what he wants you to do is stop talking over me. That's what he wants you to do.
After she finishes,
Do you
Issa,
understand
I just want
logic?
clarity. I just want clarity. After she
Wait,
finishes
hold
her
on. Do you
rambling,
understand?
Can you and I continue our conversation?
I have never once said that we can't continue our conversation. What I've been saying is I'm not going to drop either one of you because
No, I don't care about her dropping, bro. I'm asking, once she finishes what she has to say right now, can you and I continue our talk?
Wait,
You
Arisa,
and
I
me.
think it's only fair that since this conversation's not been finished between me and Logic, obviously, it's your live and so on and so forth. But the point is, you agree that my question is perfectly on topic. So
Well,
why can't you just engage?
To be honest, just my point is that you two are carrying on the same conversation that me and him were also carrying on. So I really don't care whether it's me or you who discusses
so then
it.
why isn't he engaging? Because his whole issue was that my question
So Issa, you
goes
didn't
into
answer
a
me, bro.
I'm in the middle of talking.
What are we doing?
Can you do me a favor and
I
not
told you
interrupt me?
I don't mind continuing speaking with you, but I'm not going to drop either one of you, regardless
I know.
of who
So,
asked
but
me to.
I'm not
So
asking you, brother. I'm not asking you to drop Korra. I'm asking, once she finishes rambling, can you and I continue our conversation?
again, we can. I never said we couldn't continue our conversation.
So is that a yes?
Can I finish what I'm saying, please?
I just like an answer, bro. Like,
I'm in the middle of answering you, bro. I'm in the middle of answering you. Okay, I'm in the middle of answering you. I stepped away to grab my microphone. Apparently, a lot of people in the chat thought that I wasn't actually looking for a microphone. You're a clown. It's in my hand now. Anyways, as I was saying, I stepped away. Another conversation came up. It's largely identical to the conversation that me and you were having. Okay, I didn't bring her up here just for her to sit there and just watch the conversation happen and her not say anything. That's not why I brought her up here. That's not why I bring anyone up here. I do this all the time. Every time.
I hear you, Issa.
Okay,
All
so
I'm
what I'm
asking-
saying is that the conversation that
continue
you two
after she
are having
finishes?
right now is on the
We're
exact
not
same
having a
topic that
conversation.
me and
Okay,
you were
perfect.
talking about.
So then,
So
Issa,
Issa,
can we
Issa,
just finish
Issa,
engaging
Issa,
then? Okay, wait,
Issa,
Issa,
Korra and I are not
since
having
you
a
agree
conversation.
that the topic
You
is
didn't answer my question, and now you're allowing her to cut me off now.
Wait, hold on. Wait,
So
since
are
you
you
agree that the
refusing to
topic
speak
is
with her further?
practically
You had a whole
identical.
spill. You had a whole spill.
Wait, hold on, Issa. Since
So,
he agrees
Issa,
and you agree that the
with
topic
you
is
allowing Korra
practically
now to talk
identical.
over me after you asked me to let her
One
finish.
moment. I
Now
started
this is
speaking
another
before
thing that
you
is
did.
unfair.
I started speaking
My
before you
question,
did.
Issa, is
I
after
started
she
speaking, bro.
finishes
Why is this guy
getting off what
interrupting me? I started
getting it
speaking
off her
before him.
chest.
I don't know.
Because Issa, you did not answer my question,
This is
bro.
so embarrassing,
My question is simple.
Issa, don't you agree? Since the topic is bro, host, if this guy interrupts again, can you just mute him?
Avery, I'm gonna be here. I'm the same kind of host.
Please let me finish answering the asking.
And then I've got something to say after, okay?
Okay. So look, after it's a simple yes or no, bro. It's yes or no. After she gets her little monologue off, can you and I continue our conversation, yes or no, bro?
I am willing to continue the conversation, but I'm also not going to mute either one of you.
Right.
I'm not going to drop either one of you, and I'm not going to, I'm not going to force her to be silent, because at the end of the day, I'm positive my lives usually don't get more than 800 views. We're at 3,000 right now. So I'm positive that both of you are bringing people into the live. Everyone is getting money from this right now. We're all getting money together, all three of us. So my point is that we're all just, we're all just getting some money right now. But my point that I'm making is that there's also something that I wanted to say, and that the recent debate that you had with Dr. Nasser, you and the host were kind of tag teaming him, and I feel like I'm being a lot more fair to you. I feel please let me say what I'm saying, and I'm gonna let you speak. I'm being a lot more fair to you than that host was to him. So I'm not gonna mute anyone. If you're gonna refuse.
I told the host to shut up, Issa.
What?
If you watched that video, I told him to shut up.
I've watched the entire video.
So you saw me telling him to stop jumping in, right?
I don't remember that taking place, but it didn't stop him from jumping in because he continued to do it. If you said it, you said. I'm not saying you didn't say it. I'm saying I don't remember.
He's the host.
Huh?
He's the host. He does what he wants. But I told him multiple times, let me respond. Stop jumping in. Let me answer.
Right.
For some reason, that wasn't had nothing to do with me.
Yes, but he was also steel manning Dr. Nasser's points for you and all kind of other stuff.
That's fine. That had nothing to do with me, bro.
Okay, right. So your conversation with her has nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
Okay,
so
perfect. So then why can't he
When
engage?
she finishes her monologue, you and
there's
I
no
have our
monologue
conversation
going on. It's
and
a
then
monologue.
after you and I have our conversation,
notice this, Arisa. Notice this, Arisa.
She has no self-control.
It's a monologue because
after
he wants it to be a monologue.
You and I continue our conversation. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my goodness. What is this guy doing?
So,
listen,
Korra, go ahead with your monologue.
Well, what's interesting is that it's you want to know. Wait, hold on.
And once you finish,
calm
Issa
down,
and I
dude.
are gonna have our conversation.
Calm
is that
down.
correct,
There's no
Issa?
need to panic, dude.
Issa,
we're gonna need you to engage.
I told
we're
you.
gonna need you to engage.
I already said after.
Wait,
I already said after your this conversation that you two are having is done, then me and you will continue.
It's done.
If she doesn't feel like she's done, if she doesn't feel like she's done, that's not my business.
It's done.
Thank you, host.
That's cool.
Thank you.
That's all her.
Okay, thank you, host. Thank you. So what's interesting? Hey, bud, don't interrupt me. Thank you. So
go ahead,
the point that's being made is
talking to
that
Lisa.
this guy, you want to know why it's a quote-unquote monologue? It could have been a dialogue, but he's refusing to engage. That's why it's a monologue. Because this guy Logic's refusing to engage. Now, the host agrees that the topic that we were meant to engage on is nearly identical to what you guys were speaking about before I got here. So, unfortunately, Logic does not want to engage with the topic that I presented, which is nearly identical to the topic that they were speaking about previously. So I'm going to have to present it one more time, and let's see if he engages. Let's see. Now, in Acts 21, James and Paul both engage in the Nazirite vow, which consists of a sin offering according to Numbers 6. The Nazirite vow consists of a sin offering, and this was after the crucifixion. Now, according to Jesus, his crucifixion put an end to sin atonement. So if his crucifixion put an end to sin atonement, then why did the disciples continue to engage in sin sacrifice after Jesus Christ died and resurrected? Why did this happen? Why in Numbers 6, it explicitly says that the Nazirite vow consists of a sin offering, and in Acts 21, Paul and the disciples engage in said sin offering. Logic, if Jesus' crucifixion consisted of sin atonement being put to an end by his flesh and his blood, according to you guys were talking about Luke previously, why did the disciples engage in sin offering after the crucifixion? Can you answer that question? Tell us now, Logic.
Yeah, and if he refuses to answer that question at the end of the day, wallahi billahi tallahi, that's a question that I ask Christians who bring this up every day. So if you don't want to answer
that's beautiful, host.
If you don't want to answer that question from her, I'm going to end up asking you the same thing. So you might as well just answer it now.
Go ahead, Logic. Why were the disciples engaging in sin offering after the crucifixion? Tell us.
And mods, put in the chat, do I not ask Christians this question all the time? Mods, put in the chat. Go
ahead.
Yo,
where's this guy?
Every mod answer. I don't know where he's at.
All right, is he going to answer the question?
Right. Now, to pick off where we left off, Issa, when you brought up Hosea,
Okay, here. I'll respond to you about Hosea. I'll respond to you about Hosea.
That's cool.
I'll respond to you about Hosea.
There's no way Logic is running in 4K.
It's okay, Korra. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, sister. Don't go anywhere.
No, I'm not gonna lie, host. Wait, no. Let him answer this. Press on this point. Wait, host. Let me press on this point.
No, I'm gonna press him about that. I'm gonna press him about that because I ask the question all the time.
Logic. Just answer the question. Why were they engaging?
Am I allowed to speak to you? Because there's somebody speaking over me for some reason.
Answer the question, Logic.
Yes, answer the question because I'm going to ask you the same thing.
All right, nice. So now to pick off where we left off, Issa, since we're continuing our conversation,
bro,
like
Issa, I'm not going to lie. Just let him answer this question first because he's going to refuse.
When you brought up that there's no
this
problem.
guy is going to refuse to answer the question if you let him get away.
With Jesus being identified
wait, hold
as
on.
the Son of
Wait,
God.
just let him answer
And
this
you brought
question.
up Hosea
Logic, why
as an
were the
argument.
disciples engaging
Now
in
notice
sin atonement?
Notice this, ladies and gentlemen. When the
Why
Muslim
were the
host told
disciples
me
engaging in
that
sin
after
offering?
Korra gives her monologue,
why were the
and she's
disciples
begging for the
engaging in sin
attention,
offering?
Issa, you told me,
Logic, why were the disciples engaging in sin offering?
I already
Why
know.
were the disciples engaging in sin offering?
Avery.
Logic, why were the disciples engaging in sin offering?
This is weird.
Avery, I think I know where you're going with this. Are you about to bring up Isaiah 53 or Isaiah 43 or anywhere
host, let him answer this question, please.
No, that's not what I'm bringing up.
Because I'm going to preemptively answer his refutation to what I said before.
He's going to refuse as long as you let he's going to refuse as long as you let him talk about this other point.
Issa, I can't hear you. Somebody's talking over you.
He's going to refuse. He's literally going to refuse to answer.
Watch this. Just be patient. Watch what I'm about to do. Okay, you can hear me now because she stopped talking. Korra, watch this. Watch what I'm about to do. I think I know what he's about to bring up. If you're going to bring up anywhere in Isaiah that's not about Jesus, that's about Israel as a whole, that's about the suffering servant, which is identified as Israel multiple times. Now, can you please answer the question about...
Perfect. Now answer the question.
So you didn't
Logic,
even
answer
engage with what I was
the
asking
host
you.
just told you to answer the question.
You said that it's okay within Islam
Logic,
for
can you
Jesus
listen
to
to
be
the host and
identified
answer my
as the Son
question?
of God.
Yes, it
Pat,
is.
bro, we have this guy in the
just one second.
craziest corner
and you
ever.
based this theology
We have this guy in
on
the craziest
Old
corner ever.
Testament
Answer my
and
question,
the
Logic.
Gospel, the New Testament, where
Chat.
Jesus is teaching that
Wait,
God
chat,
is his
we're gonna
Father,
need him to answer
on
this.
Moses
Logic,
teaching
why
that God
did
is
the
their Father,
disciples engage
Malachi,
in sin
Isaiah,
offering?
all of them teaching
Answer the
that they
question,
are
Logic.
children of God and that God is our
Why
Heavenly
did the
Father.
disciples
You said that this is okay
engage
for
in
you.
sin offering?
So my
Why
question
did the
is,
disciples
Issa,
engage
my
in
question
sin
is why
offering?
you're
Logic?
allowing the Muslim to
Why
talk
did
over
the
me on your live. You said
disciples
that you're being more
engage in
fair than
sin
the
offering?
other
He just told you to
The
answer
other
my
host allowed
question.
us to have a good conversation.
He just told you to answer the question.
You're not shutting this down.
So
but it's
answer
okay.
the wait. He
Because
just told
there's
you
a
to answer
parent
my
in the
question.
background
So
talking
answer
to
my question.
himself.
Why did the
So when
disciples
you
engage in
have
sin
a
offering?
pick me, when you have a pick
Why
me
did the
interrupting the conversation,
disciples
that's all
engage
good.
in sin offering?
When you have, you said that
Why?
you get this
Hey, bro, if
theology
this guy's gonna be
from the
disrespectful,
Bible.
mute him.
So are you
Why
affirming?
did the
You gotta,
disciples
dude. You
engage
can't.
in
Are
You
you
sin
affirming?
can't.
Just
You
really
gotta
quick,
stop
Issa,
with the name
Why
calling, bro.
did
You
you
have to
just
stop
wait?
with
Just
Are
mute
you
him, bro.
affirming,
Just
Issa,
mute him. He's being
that you get your
disrespectful.
akida
Just mute
about
him. He's getting
Allah
disrespectful.
from the Old Testament and the New
No,
Testament?
I'm not affirming
Host,
that.
can
No.
you mute this guy
Now,
real
can
quick?
Okay,
He's
so
being
then
answer the
disrespectful, bro.
question?
Okay, so then where do you get your theology from that Allah
Oh my
actually
goodness.
is
Can
a
this
father
guy
in some
answer
sense?
the
There's no problem
question?
with that.
Dude, I already answered that question.
Bro, yo, wait, host,
you said the Bible.
don't let him run from the
I didn't
question
say
I'm
that.
asking him.
You
Yo,
did. You said
Arisa,
the Old Testament.
don't let
you
him
said
run
the Old
from the
Testament
question
and
I'm
the New
asking.
Testament.
No. What I said was is that I don't
Arisa.
have a prop. I hear yes, sister. He's gonna answer the question or he's gonna have to leave. But I'm gonna respond to this really quick, and then I'm because I was wallahi, I was gonna ask you the same thing. So I'm gonna respond to that, and then I'm gonna ask you a question, which is the same question she just asked. So I'm gonna respond to your
I
question.
don't
You
care
just
about her
asked
question.
me.
I care about the conversation you and I have.
Right, but if I
Yeah,
was
well,
gonna ask you that
he's gonna make
question,
you
then it
answer
doesn't
my
matter.
question, so you can cry about it.
Right. If I was, because you can ask any mod, you can ask anyone in this live who watches me consistently. I ask the same question that she asked you. I can send you
That's fine.
clips.
I don't mind.
And,
I don't mind you asking me that question later on in our conversation.
okay,
Let's
so I'm
deal
going to
with the
respond
topic.
to
you're
you.
gonna answer it when
So
he
I'm going to
asks you
respond to you. I'm going to respond to what you just asked me. Then I want you to reply to the question that she asked you because I was
I'm
going to
not
ask it
replying
to
to
you.
anything that
Perfect,
she
host.
asked
Thank
me
you, host. I
unless we deal
appreciate
with
it.
the topic.
No,
But
wait,
she
no,
didn't respond to my question.
wait, the
Dude.
host. Wait,
So
host,
what-
do you
what's
not
your
agree
answer?
that it's
Respond
on
to you.
topic?
I'm listening. You
I'm
got
going to
Korra
respond
talking
to
over me.
what
I
you
can't hear
just
you.
asked. I'm going to respond to what you just asked. And then I'm going to, like I said, you can ask anyone who watches my live consistently. The question she asked you is a question that I ask a lot. So I'm going to respond to what you said. And then I would please like for you to respond to that question, because if
I'm
you
going
don't
to
answer
respond
it
to
from
what
her,
you say. I'm going to respond to what you say back.
Dude,
And
okay.
then you're gonna
'Cause this is what we were
respond to
talking
that,
about.
and then you're gonna respond to my question.
Oh my God.
Absolutely,
Okay,
we're having a
so
conversation.
you can say you're going to respond to what I say, but I'm not going to leave you any room to.
What do you mean?
You're not going to have anything to say.
Oh, okay. You're what you mean is you're going to basically shut down the point. Like I won't have nothing to respond.
Yeah, the point that you just made is
Okay.
not a good
Wait,
point.
hold
and I'm
on.
gonna tell-
Wait, host.
Okay,
Before you guys continue
so you said that
can,
you
can
don't
I get
get
the
your
answer to my
akida.
question, host?
You said that you don't get your akida from
He's
the
going to
Bible.
answer it. I'm going to make him
Allah.
answer it. I'm going to make
Yes,
him
you
answer
said
it.
Okay, and make
said
sure,
you
'cause
don't
he's
get
gonna
your
refuse to
akida from
answer
the
it for me.
Bible.
I know,
But you
I'm
did
going to
say
make him answer it for me
earlier,
because he
Issa,
keeps
you
saying
did
he wants
say
to talk to me.
earlier that you derive that Allah is a father because the previous prophets taught it in the Old Testament and Jesus taught it in the New. That's where you
Wallahi,
said
that's
you
not
got
what
it
I said.
from.
Wallahi, that's not what I said.
Okay, so then where do you get your
Similar
akida that
wording.
Allah is the father of Jesus?
We
and so on
don't
and so
have,
forth?
that's not a belief that we have in Islam. That's not something that we're required to accept. Don't interrupt me, please, bro. I'm answering your question. You wanted
You
answered
asked me
that
not
you've
to
been begging me to
interrupt you.
answer. So please don't interrupt me. Anyways,
I've been interrupted
this is,
this whole time, big dog. Come on.
but
Man.
you haven't been interrupted by me. Your conversation with her is your conversation with her. I haven't
I was
been
talking
interrupting
to
you.
you, and there was a little birdie just chopping, chirping,
Yo,
chirping while I
bro,
was
pack
talking.
this guy up if he's gonna be disrespectful.
There wasn't a
listen,
single
bro.
word that I
Just
got out
listen.
If
without
this
asking.
guy's gonna be
You gotta stop
disrespectful,
being
just pack him
disrespectful,
up.
or I'm gonna. I don't want to kick anyone. Please don't put me in a position where I have to. Anyways, I'm gonna answer your question now. You asked where we get it from that it's okay for Allah, that Allah's a father in some sense, or where we get this
The
aqeedah
father of
from.
Jesus.
This is no, because we don't. I never said that we know for sure that Jesus called God or called Allah Father. I never said we know for sure that. I said it's historically plausible and it's not an issue for us. I never said that he definitely is a father in some sense. I said that if he called him that title in the past, that's not an issue for us because we've already demonstrated that his titles get abrogated in the Old Testament. That's not an issue. So again,
Right. Would you agree that titles of Allah is part of your akida?
titles of it depends on what you mean.
So, for example, Allah says in chapter 7, verse 180, he says that Allah has the most beautiful names. Call him by those.
Yep.
And avoid those who deviate from his names.
Okay, I understand your question. Yeah, so the title itself, as in the word that's used, no, but the meaning of the word that's derived is a part of it. That's why it's okay for these titles to be abrogated when they become associated with idolatry. That's what happened with Father. That's what happened with Baal in the Old Testament. So no, the word itself, the sound that the word makes, is not necessarily associated with aqidah. The meaning that's derived from the word is. That's why it's okay for these titles to be abrogated and a new title be brought up in its place that carries the same meaning.
I got you. So just
hold on. Now can you get the answer? Wait, now I need my answer.
I'm going to respond to you.
Wait, no. Now I need my answer.
You're making points that's actually helping me.
Logic, now I need my answer.
We're having a discussion.
Logic, now I need my answer. Now can you answer my question?
I answered your question, dude.
Wait, now can you answer my question, Logic?
Issa,
wait, hold on, Logic. Now can you answer my question?
After she gave her
monologue. Oh my goodness! Can this guy not answer simple questions?
I answered your question, and then I told you that I was going to pose the same question she did to you.
And I'm engaging with what you said.
No, you're going to engage with the question now, as per the host rules.
You said that the words themselves.
Oh my goodness!
You said that
the
words
host, did you not just say that he's going to have to answer this question now?
Are not part of your
because
okay, so answer the question. Is that correct? Logic.
Is that correct?
The host says he needs to answer my question, so answer my question.
Is not part of Aqidah.
Answer the question, Logic. Why were the disciples engaged?
That's not what I said.
Hold on. Ignore. He's trying to completely and utterly change the topic.
Clarification.
He's gonna have to answer the question.
Look. I answered your question after she asked a question that you refused to answer because you wanted to ask me something.
Okay, so yeah, but no, you are gonna care because the host wants you to answer the question.
She's talking to herself. You and I are having a
conversation. Is this guy gonna answer the question?
I'm talking to you and I'm asking you the same question.
Why? So hold on, just to get this straight. So right now what's going on is now you're going away from the conversation we were having.
Nope.
You promised you and I would finish.
Nope.
And you're jumping onto Korra's question. Is that what's happening?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
So then let's continue the conversation. I got you, Issa.
It is part of the conversation.
So let's have the conversation.
Wait, hold on. No, Issa, I'm not going to lie. This guy just needs to answer the question.
So are the titles
in
of
the
Allah
nicest way possible, this guy's going to have to answer the question now.
Are the titles of Allah
Let's hear an answer. Why were the disciples engaging in sin?
You can go ahead and answer that whenever you want, Issa.
Why were the disciples engaging in sin sacrifice?
Because we were initially talking about a crucifixion. We weren't talking about titles and things like this. This is
There we go.
Yes, we were.
What?
Because remember.
Wait, hold on.
Because you Logic,
Issa, let me reiterate,
you diverted from the crucifixion topic when you heard me say that it's not an issue for that Jesus could have called Allah Father in the past before it was abrogated, and then you bit down on that, and then you wanted to divert from crucifixion and an atonement and go to that because we were talking about an atonement when she came up. We were. And you bit down on when you heard me say that.
Okay, now, Arisa, I'm not going to lie, Arisa, this guy is, unless you press him for an answer... Wait, hold on.
Issa, can I respond to what you just said without any
You can respond to the question that we're both asking you to answer at this point, and
then can I respond to what you just said?
Yo, host,
you can respond to
you
can respond to the question that we've both been asking you all night, and then we'll get back to that.
Arisa, I'm gonna need to speak because he's gonna refuse to answer.
Issa, what you said was,
can you answer the question?
Your prompt was, why aren't you Muslim?
Wait, hold on, Arisa. Can you press this guy to answer the question, please? Because this guy is absolutely
right. Jesus contradicted the teaching of Muhammad. Muhammad contradicted the teaching of Jesus and the prior prophets.
Logic, why were the disciples engaging in sin sacrifice? Logic.
What I said was,
oh my goodness, this guy is. I've been asking the same question for 20 minutes, and he's still
his life as a ransom for the remission of sins.
I've been asking this guy the same question for 20 minutes.
I'm gonna have to mute you now because you're both talking.
So now I'm getting muted, ladies and gentlemen.
Logic, this because you want me to mute you. That's why you continue talking over us. You want me to mute you, so you.
This guy can't answer questions.
I'm the only one getting
this is getting so embarrassing.
Muting me?
You're talking over both of us because I'm speaking too.
How, guys?
Oh my goodness!
If you want to, he's
not
forcing
answering
me to mute him, and now he's gonna run.
Guys, you can't make this up on a Muslim platform.
Oh my goodness!
You got one
embarrassing
guy.
You can't make
this
it up.
guy is
Avery
embarrassing himself.
III is sitting here,
and you got the host lying about the conversation. He's also dodging now, and now you're
my goodness! This guy is absolutely running. Bro, dude, put this guy out of his misery, bro.
This is embarrassing, guys.
Bro, Arisa, just put this guy out of his misery. He's trying to run, bro.
Just
put this guy out of his misery because he can't answer the question.
Clip the whole shuffling. Clip both of them
Put this
shuffling.
guy
This is
out of his
incredible.
No one
misery.
is shuffling. No one
Hey,
is shuffling.
one in the chat if we
Your
want
wife
the
is
answer to
shuffling
the
to a
question.
Pornhub audition. You're coming up here being disrespectful to my
It's all,
sister, and
it's
I
all
let it
good.
slide.
It's all good, Issa. You take care, man. You take
Yeah,
care.
you take care too. Have a good night.
Ah, what a dodge.
I knew it was going to happen. That's what he wanted me to do. That's why he came
Poor
up here and
guy,
continued to
poor
talk over
guy,
both
poor
of us
guy.
because he was going to force me to. He gave me no choice but to mute him. Like I answered his
Unfortunately,
question.
man.
He forced me to answer a question. I answered his question. He wanted me to
Oh.
answer the question so bad, and I did. And then he refused to answer the question that he's been being asked all night. Everyone
Hey,
sees it.
bro.
Everyone sees it.
Hey,
Everyone
man.
sees it.
Lodge, all I can say is I asked the same question for 20 minutes and I never got the answer, man.
Everyone
Hey,
sees it.
bro. Big ups to Logic. He lasted longer than I thought. Poor guy.
Wallahi, I was fair to him the entire time. There was even a point where I asked Korra to stop talking so I could hear what he was saying. I was unbiased until he came up. He was insulting her. He was calling her a troll. He was calling her a bird, all kind of names. I didn't even say anything at first. And then he continued to do it. And then he gave me no choice but to mute him. And then that's what he wanted to happen, because once I start muting him, he can act as if he's being treated unfairly, when in reality, the entire time he's talking over people. He's refusing to answer the questions he's being asked. And I mean, what do you expect me to do when you're sitting here insulting and muting people and not engaging with the argument?
It's okay, bro. W host, alhamdulillah, you handled it well. That's just what happens, bro. It's just what happens. When somebody doesn't want to answer, they're not going to answer, man.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. W host in the chat, though.